The 2012 Boston Red Sox were a disaster. They finished the season with the worst pitching staff, the worst offense, and a broken clubhouse. They traded 3 of their star players, went through numerous personnel changes, and stumbled to a last place finish. Yet, just 12 months later, they were crowned World Series champions, an inconceivable turnaround from worst to first. So how did they do it? And what did this victory mean to the city, which suffered through one of its darkest days in its history? Well, in order to understand, our story must start in September of 2011. After August, the Sox were not only thought of as a shoo-in to make the playoffs, they were seen as World Series favorites. They stood atop the American League with an 83-52 record, 9 games ahead of the wild card. But then, everything came crashing down.
In the air to left center field, hit a ton for Laurie. Back, and it is gone. The Blue Jays walk off with a win in 11 innings. And a line drive, base hit into center. Rays win it. Jennings scores, and the Rays win in 11.
And the pitch. Strike 3. Ball game over. The Yankees win as the Red Sox collapse continues.
It was the perfect storm. The pitchers struggled, the bats were streaky, and key players went down injured. After a month-long collapse, the Sox found themselves tied with the Tampa Bay Rays for the final playoff spot. But they still controlled their own destiny, up 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th, just 1 out away from at least forcing a tiebreaker. Yet, true to the script of their September spiral, the collapse wasn't over.
Reinbold hits it towards the gap in right center field. This is back, and it is going to one-hop the wall. And we are all tied up in 3 aside. And Dino to left field. In comes Crawford. Can't make the catch. He pops up. The throw to the plate is going to be off the mark. And the Orioles walk off with the win.
After the second out, champagne was being ushered into the Sox's clubhouse. But less than 10 pitches later, it was quickly taken away. Now, their only chance of playing postseason baseball was in the hands of the New York Yankees. If they defeated the Rays, the Sox would still have life. Although, in incredible fashion, the Rays overcame a 7-0 deficit with 6 runs in the 8th before leveling the score in the 9th.
The 2-2 again. Johnson hits it down to right field line. That ball's going to be fair and gone.
With 2 outs and 2 strikes, Dan Johnson, against all odds, struck the Rays level. In that moment, it felt like destiny was steering the Sox toward disappointment.
2-2 and a line shot down the left field line. That ball is gone, and the Rays win it.
It may have been the only stadium that couldn't hold Evan Longoria's line drive, but that wasn't their problem. It was the Sox's, as his walk-off blast capped off one of the most embarrassing September collapses in MLB history. The stunning end to their season sent shockwaves through the Boston baseball world, with many changes occurring. For starters, their longtime manager Terry Francona was swiftly accused of losing control in the clubhouse, and just days after their elimination, the 2 sides agreed to part ways. One of the main reasons behind this belief was the now infamous beer and chicken scandal, which was a bombshell report revealing pitchers Josh Beckett, John Lester, and John Lackey were drinking beer, eating fried chicken, and playing video games in the clubhouse during games. This was perhaps the biggest example regarding the lack of discipline within the team. But at the top, there was also dysfunction. You see, Theo Epstein, the man who helped architect their first 2 World Series titles in 86 years, resigned after growing frustrated with ownership micromanagement and interference. Everything was falling apart in Boston, with immense blame placed on ownership after these 2 iconic faces departed. It was up to them to fill the void, and they started by hiring Ben Cherington as general manager and Bobby Valentine as manager, the latter of which was a strange decision to most. He hadn't managed in MLB since 2002, and in those 10 years the game had evolved tremendously. But for the Sox, they wanted a strong, tough guy to hold players accountable, and that's exactly what they got, much to the dismay of the players. Let me explain. After just 13 games into the 2012 season, Valentine had a bone to pick with veteran Kevin Youkilis, stating this during a TV interview. "I don't think he's as physically or emotionally into the game as he has been in the past for some reason." A wild statement to make after just 2 weeks into the season, driving a wedge between not only Euclid and his new skipper, but also Dustin Pedroia. He was another leader on the team and publicly defended his teammate. I really don't know what Bobby's trying to do, but that's not the way we go about our stuff around here. He'll figure that out. The whole team is behind Uke. Valentine quickly backtracked his statement by apologizing, but the damage had already been done, and the trust between him and the clubhouse quickly eroded. Then later in the season, Adrian Gonzalez, along with other veterans, reached out to ownership expressing frustration with Valentine's management, which triggered a closed-door meeting on July 26th. Surprisingly though, through all of this dysfunction, the Sox were playing winning baseball, finishing July with a 53-51 record, just a few games back of the wild card. But Cherington knew the fractured clubhouse would be tough to overcome had they made the playoffs. So he decided to pull the trigger on a major blockbuster by sending first baseman Adrian Gonzalez, outfielder Carl Crawford, and pitcher Josh Beckett to the Los Angeles Dodgers. By doing so, they freed up over $250 million from their 3 most expensive players, a clear indication to many that they were entering a rebuilding era. But Cherington made their direction crystal clear, stating the Sox were still committed to a significant payroll, and that sometimes it takes something bold to get over the hump. Well, it was definitely bold, because it sent the Sox into even more of a tailspin for the rest of the season. In fact, from August 28th till the end of the year, they posted the worst ERA in baseball at 6.13, scored the fewest runs per game at just 2.9, and overall won the fewest, finishing the season an abysmal 7-26, including 1 win in their final 13. To put it bluntly, they were the worst team in baseball, and it wasn't even close. So how did they manage to overcome numerous personnel changes, a fractured team culture, and a disastrous finish to the season to become World Series champions just 12 months later? Well, it all started with one man, General Manager Ben Cherington. He assessed what went wrong within the organization over the previous 2 seasons and realized their road back to success wasn't through the big-ticket free agents. It was from veteran leaders who knew how to work hard and create a winning culture. Therefore, it was no surprise when he signed 5 bats, all of which entering their age 30 or older seasons. Catcher David Ross, first baseman Mike Napoli, shortstop Stephen Drew, and outfielders Johnny Gomes and Shane Victorino. He even added veteran pitchers in starter Ryan Dempster and high-leverage reliever Koji Uehara. These were the biggest moves made by Cherington, which also included a few trades to even out the roster. In the end, the Sox spent roughly $125 million, which was still less than what the biggest free agent pulled in that offseason. It was an incredible job by the front office to fill the majority of the holes within the team, and he hoped his new manager John Farrell would be able to unlock their full potential. So with little expectations entering the year, the Sox jumped out of the gate, proving they still belonged among the elite in baseball. They played great defense.
The 2-2 off the glove of Middlebrooks, and Drew in perfect position. You talk about defense. What a play.
Their pitching started to rebound.
Strike 3 called, and that'll do it.
And they just never quit.
Napoli to left field. Does it have enough? Back goes Joyce looking up. That ball is off the wall. Pedroia racing around the bases is headed home. The throw will be late. The Red Sox win. A walk-off on Patriots Day. Mike Napoli getting it done.
This walk-off win was their second in 3 days, and brought an excitement around the team that hadn't been experienced in almost 2 years. But just an hour after their triumphant win, the city suffered major heartbreak.
Good afternoon, I'm Joe Stephanopoulos in New York. We're interrupting your program because there have been 2 explosions today at the Boston Marathon.
Terror in Boston. Thousands of police officers are stalking the streets right now. They are searching for the remaining man believed to be behind the Boston Marathon bombings.
Chief DeVoe is advising all Watertown East End residents to remain in their home.
We will find out who did this, and we will hold them accountable.
Every year, Massachusetts commemorates the first battles of the American Revolutionary War with a statewide holiday called Patriots Day on the 3rd month of April. With it, the Boston Marathon is held. It's one of the proudest traditions in Massachusetts. And on April 15th, 2013, it was the target of an organized attack, taking the lives of 4 people and injuring over 200. It was the darkest day America had faced in over a decade, sparking a massive 4-day manhunt to bring the attackers to justice. Then, on the morning of the 19th, a beacon of hope finally broke through the darkness.
Breaking news tonight, the hunt is finally over. Onlookers erupt in cheers as authorities take the second suspect into custody.
We are eternally grateful for the outcome here tonight.
Relief. Relief. We can sleep well tonight.
The manhunt was over, but the damage had been done. Lives were lost, hundreds were injured, and the city was still reeling. And that's why when the Sox came back to town the following day, a sense of normalcy came with it, showing that even in the face of evil, the city refused to stand down.
This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox, it says Boston. This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
Ortiz's passionate message sent cheers around the stadium, allowing Fenway Park to remain as a healing ground for the rest of the season. And boy did they see some fun times.
Gomes hits one high in the air to left field, down the line, towards the pole. If it's fair, it's very gone, but it is gone! A 2-run home run to walk off in Game 2 of the doubleheader.
Swinging a deep drive right field. That one's really hit. Nava racing back, dives. Oh, he made the play! He caught it to end the ball game. And the Red Sox sweep the Houston Astros. And they do it with a little bit of style.
From day one, it became apparent that the Sox were a completely different team, and it all stemmed from the veterans brought in during the offseason. Johnny Gomes and David Ross held their teammates accountable. Shane Victorino brought postseason experience and energy, and together, alongside Ortiz, created an impenetrable vibe, helping them explode out of the gate with the division lead heading into the All-Star break. Then at the deadline, Cherington backed his group even further by adding former Cy Young winner Jake Peavy. It wasn't cheap. The player heading the other way was rookie phenom Jose Iglesias, who was sporting a .330 average and played solid defense. But when you have a team ready to win, these types of moves are justified, and it helped the Sox become unstoppable, capturing the division title with 97 wins.
Hey, struck him out! Red Sox win! From worst to first in 2013, the AL East belongs to the Boston Red Sox.
It was a turnaround beyond anyone's wildest belief. And as the team took the field before their first playoff game, first responders, victims of the attack, and countless fans stood united, showing their support by wearing Boston Strong and the city's 617 area code across their clothing, a powerful reminder of what this team was playing for.
Base hit, another run is in.
Despite trailing for the first third of the game, the Sox's bats came alive, erupting from multiple big innings to put 12 runs on the board, completing their first step toward a World Series title.
Pedroia takes care of it, and that's the ball game. The Boston Red Sox hold serve. They win Game 1 of this ALDS.
It wasn't even close. The Sox just overmatched the Rays in all aspects of the game. Their bats were more powerful.
Ortiz down the right field line, fair or foul, that is way gone, but it is it's fair!
Their defense was cleaner.
Overs the shot, Pedroia spins to second for one, to throw to first, it's time!
And their pitching was far more effective, eliminating their division rival in 4 games.
Here's the 2-2, and a swing and a miss, and the Boston Red Sox are moving on.
Everything went according to plan against the Rays. However, their championship series battle against the Detroit Tigers was poised to be a far more difficult challenge. You see, the Tigers were a pitching juggernaut. Max Scherzer, Anibal Sanchez, Justin Verlander, and Doug Fister formed one of the best rotations heading into the playoffs. And as the saying always goes, great pitching defeats great hitting.
Check swing, he went. And David Ortiz strikes out. All the A's hitless into the 7th. That's strike 3, and that's strikeout number 8. Another 1-2. A strikeout ends the inning. Sanchez celebrates after strikeout number 12. Popped up, should end it. Tigers win game 1.
It was complete domination by the Tigers pitchers, and in Game 2, it wasn't going to get any easier for the Sox, as up stepped Cy Young favorite Max Scherzer, without question the best pitcher in the American League, tossing a .290 ERA in over 200 innings. And in Boston, he brought out his A-game. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz,
a strikeout to end the 6th.
And Shane Victorino.
That's in at the knees, and another called 3rd strike.
3 of the best bats the Sox had, yet Scherzer was able to get the better of them all, leaving the game with a healthy 5-1 lead after 7 innings. But with him no longer on the mound, they were finally able to get something going.
Here's a line drive down the left field line. That ball's going to go toward the corner, and Middlebrooks will dig into second with a 1-out double. 2 on, 1 out. Base hit right field. They're going to hold the runner at 3rd as Hunter comes up ready to throw, and that was a wise decision.
2 outs, bases loaded, down by 4 runs. A situation every kid dreams of in Little League. Now it was reality for David Ortiz. For many players, they would succumb to the pressure, but not him. Throughout his Sox career, he had been the team's unstoppable postseason hero. But in this moment, with everything on the line, they needed him more than ever.
Hard hit into right, back at the wall, tie game! He's been as clutch, maybe more clutch than any hitter in the game in October since he came to the Red Sox.
Who else to do it than Ortiz? He was their leader, guiding the club and the city through all the adversity they faced. And while this shot wasn't to win it, it drained the momentum from the visitors' dugout. Everyone knew it was only a matter of time before the Sox completed their comeback.
Behind on the count, 3-1. That's a base hit! Red Sox win it! This series tied at a game apiece.
Just like they had done all season, they fought and fought and fought until the very last pitch.
You were no hit for 5 2/3. You were down 5-1 in the 8th inning. I know you guys talk about always finding a way, but how discouraging was it on the bench?
Man, we had a ball club at the bottom, man. We fight. We never give up. I mean, you saw it through the whole season. We found a way to get back and try to win a ball game, never over into the last out, you know.
This never say die mentality helped them win 2 more one-run games in Detroit, putting them on the verge of advancing as the series shifted back to Fenway, where once again, they were met with Scherzer. Throughout his early career, he always seemed to have the Sox's number. In 2013 alone, he already had 3 starts against them, totaling 21 innings with just 5 runs allowed. It was a steady bet that he would continue his dominance. However, this time, the Sox came more prepared, putting multiple men in scoring position before finally making the breakthrough in the 5th inning.
During the regular season, that's into right. Hunter will come up throwing. Bogarts makes it 1-0. Ellsbury, the RBI.
As Victorino crossed home plate, excitement only grew around the stadium. Just 9 outs separated their ball club and the World Series stage. However, their jubilation didn't last long.
Hard hit base hit through the left side. Morales has yet to throw a strike, and he walks fielder on 4 straight to load the bases with nobody out.
With the Tigers threatening, it was the former Sox player that sent daggers into their hopes.
That is a rocket into left. Off the wall. One-run scores. Here comes Cabrera. Holding at third is Fielder, and the Tigers have their first lead of the night. It's 2-1.
Just 15 minutes after the Sox took the lead, the Tigers came storming right back. For many stadiums, this would have deflated the atmosphere, but not in Boston. It only made them cheer louder, knowing this team above any they'd ever seen would never stop fighting.
That's hit a ton off the top of the wall, and it's a leadoff double for Johnny Gomes. A walk on a pitch that barely missed. Strike. Now one up the middle. It is bobbled, and the bases are loaded.
Bases loaded, down late in a crucial playoff game. It's the same moment they experienced just a week earlier. But unlike before, Ortiz wasn't at the plate, nor was he in the on-deck circle. Instead, it was up to Shane Victorino. During his first season in Boston, he was all they could have hoped for and more. He hit for a decent amount of power, stole a good amount of bases, and was a lockdown defender. But once the postseason started, his bat had been lackluster, recording a .229 average and striking out 12 times in 9 games. But in this moment, he controlled his own narrative. Either he would continue to struggle or become a club hero.
Dorino. That's hit well into the corner. It is gone. A grand slam.
Victorino had already seen 2 curveballs in the at-bat. He knew another was coming, and Jose Veras left it right in his wheelhouse. It was the swing that sent the Sox to the World Series.
5.5 games. And now they won the pennant.
Seeing how the city stood behind them despite everything that happened earlier that year made the players realize just how much a championship would mean. That's why they came ready to fight with an offensive eruption in Game 1.
Here's a 2-0. That is into left center field. Down to the wall. 1-run scores. Here comes Pedroia. Here comes Ortiz. 3-0 Boston in the first. 3-2 pitch. Left side. Base hit. 1-run scores. That's Drew. They hold Ross, and it's 4-0 Red Sox here in the second.
He swings and drives one, high and deep, right center field, back by the bullpen, Robinson, and you can forget about this one.
This was a statement win by the Sox, tagging the Cardinals pitchers for 8 runs, bringing them one step closer to a title. But in Game 2, the momentum began to slip away.
From Gomes, tie game. Now the runner Jay down to third. The throw gets away, and the Cardinals will take the lead. Struck out the side, and the Cardinals win Game 2 by a final of 4-2.
And in Game 3, sloppy defense was also at the forefront behind their defeat.
Throw home, 2 out, over the third, it gets away. Alan Craig is going to come to the plate. Here's the throw, he is, they're going to say he's safe.
Say what you will about the ruling on the field, the Sox dug themselves into this hole with a loose throw to third base. Now down 2-1, it was going to be an uphill battle to fight back in this series. Ortiz, knowing this, gathered his teammates in the dugout before the start of the 6th inning in Game 4. At the time of this meeting, the game was tied at 1 apiece, but Ortiz sensed that his teammates were playing tense, reminding them if they had any chance of victory, they needed to relax and play their style of baseball. Funnily enough, his message was taken with immediate effect.
231 this World Series. He's figured out Lynn with a base hit into left center field.
And Ortiz kept it going.
The ticket to be any deeper. And they were watching with the rest of us on a 4-pitch walk to Ortiz.
Now, the Sox were in business with a man in scoring position. But with 2 outs, the Cardinals were just 1 pitch away from escaping the threat. In order to do so, they would have to get the better of Johnny Gomes. He wasn't even supposed to be in the lineup until Victorino was scratched just 75 minutes before first pitch. Missing him was a big loss in the lineup, but this team lived by one mantra all year long: next man up. And now the stage was his.
And he swings and drives one high and deep to left field. Holiday back by the bullpen, jumps, it's gone! A 3-run homer, Johnny Gomes into the Red Sox bullpen.
Maybe it was from Ortiz's speech or the sinker Seth Maness hung down the heart of the plate, but whatever it may have been, the Sox were right back in the series, tying it up at 2 games each.
Lester against Wainwright. Throw to first, got him picked. He's out! He got him! He's out at first! And the ball game is over! Koji picked him off!
Winning Game 4 was crucial for their title aspirations, but I would like to backtrack to one specific moment in this game which perfectly encapsulated the Sox' 2013 season. That's when Mike Napoli grabbed Gomes' beard following his home run. I know, it doesn't sound like much. For this team though, their beards were their identity. Literally, a number of players on the team grew theirs out as a sign of their brotherhood. Fans around Fenway started wearing fake beards, and even shirts that read "Fear the Beard." It was a playful motto they rallied around down the stretch, and one of the key reasons behind the drastic shift in their clubhouse atmosphere. It's exactly what Cherington envisioned. In fact, when the blockbuster trade with the Dodgers happened, he stated, "As a team, we haven't performed. We've had individuals perform, we just didn't perform as a team." That's why he navigated through free agency to find the right characters. Guys that not only brought a high level of play on the field, but also a championship mentality to Boston.
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
The Sox went from having the worst pitching staff, a broken offense, and dysfunction from top to bottom within the organization to World Series champions in just 12 months. And of all the titles that came before, this one meant the most.
This is for you, Boston. You guys deserve it. We've been through a lot this year, and this is for all of you and all those families who struggle with a bombing early this year. It's for all of you.
As the Sox celebrated their 3rd championship parade in 10 years, the streets of Boston came together in familiar fashion. But this time, things were different. Unlike parades of the past, the duck boats paused at the marathon finish line, where players paid homage to all those affected by the attack by draping a Boston Strong jersey over the World Series trophy, a powerful reminder of what this title truly meant to the city. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe as we're closing in on 30,000. Also, if you would like to learn how a team that was criticized for not being able to pitch still won the World Series, then click the video on your screen now.